it should very much be, and I hope that is part of having I know all the coaches in the academy level here as well, and that's you know it's not about the coaches, right? This is one thing is, yeah, I'm a coach and I want to work and I want to set things up and do things a certain way, but you have to do what's right for the players, all right? And I've seen it before. I've seen very good coaches work. I've seen other coaches who work differently. Say differently, but they spend half the time talking in riddles and explaining things to a level where probably the players don't get it. So it's about being very clear on what you want, making the players understand the expectations and that key principles. In terms of these are the main things, how we want things to be. And you have to work them and train them in a way that forces them to make decisions under pressure as best you can. That might be from as simple as playing when to play one touch, when to play two touch, when to dribble, when not to dribble, when to make your runs, timing your runs, or it might be more tactical when it's involved. Like, okay, if the opposition are doing a certain thing, these are the spaces that will become open, and that's when you arrive into them, or whatever it might be. So that takes time, 100%, and that's the way we've always worked anyway. At times this year, I would certainly say that we've probably made more bad decisions than we should be, and that comes with pressure as well. But from a young age, it's very much at the early stages. It's about developing the skill set and being comfortable with the ball and everything else. But naturally, you'll start to make decisions. When you're a kid and you're playing in the garden with your brother, you decide whether you're going to have a shot then or whether you're going to try and nutmeg them. That's a decision. And through that process with young players, it's a kind of guided discovery. You can't constantly tell them what to do. Even a player like James Forrest or Mikey Johnson, no matter how good a coach or manager you are, if you don't give him an element of freedom to make decisions when to dribble or when to beat someone or a particular skill, they can do things that we can't coach. They can do things so there has to be a kind of framework there. There has to be an organisation within that, but there has to be a level of expression for the player to showcase what they've got. And that's up to us as well to try and build that and give them that freedom within the structure. But they got to be able to express themselves and do what makes them good as well. And ultimately that makes the team good. So very much in training, we work in a way that we'll have a specific, thing we want to work on. It might be a possession drill. It might be more of a tactical drill or a directional game of some sort. But without having to explain everything all the time, the players want touches of the ball. They want to be active as much as possible. For coaches, it can be as simple as conditioning a drill that forces them to make the decisions you hope they make. So I'll use an example. We might position gates in a certain part of a pitch that forces them to play diagonally across the pitch, because ultimately that's the way we want to build the ball is playing through teams. If teams want to man mark you, then you've got to play at angles all the time and play away from the centre sometimes. So you position gates in a certain thing. Now, I don't need to explain that so much to them and say, by the way, this is why straight away. Naturally, it should happen. And then explain, by the way, this is what you were doing and this is why. If they continually make bad decisions, then you've got to correct that and give them the options. But if you continually tell them what to do non-stop, then they become robotic. And if that situation changes in the game, what are they going to do? Oh, you told me that was going to happen. Yeah, but it didn't. You want me to wait to half time till we try and correct it? I'll try and get information on the pitch. But the more good decisions the players can make and be comfortable with that, and that comes from coaching. That's not just putting in the players. That comes from situations and training. It might be reflecting on games. It might be approaching games, showing them things, speaking to them, running through drills, exercises, and just encourage more good decisions. And from there, it's not about battering them and telling them that was poor. It's about, right, this is what you could have done better, and trying to educate them on that.